You need to know your why. The money that you have in a bank is really not your money.
You refer to crypto as dangerous and an adversarial place.
There is no reversibility in transactions. So once the money is stolen, then there's really no way to reverse the transaction.
Should exchanges slow down on AI initiatives?
Should people use AI less? I don't think so. I mean, AI is kind of oh, you're so lucky. How I wish I knew about Bitcoin back then. That requires conviction. We are still very early, and I'm very bullish on crypto.
Bobby, it's a great pleasure to have you here with us on our first episode.
Yeah, great pleasure to be here too.
If we could first touch on security, we understand that CoinGecko champions crypto security through the Trust Score platform. With these efforts, how do you see evolving security measures like advanced audits, multi-signature wallets, or real-time monitoring further legitimizing exchanges and restoring user confidence?
Yeah, I think this was one of the issues that we faced a few years ago. I mean, in traditional market, or more should I say, regulated markets, volume is legitimate. There's no reason to doubt the trading volume reported by exchanges. But in crypto, it's non-regulated market, so we see a lot of wash trading activity happening around, and the question of is trading volume a reliable indicator of how good or liquid a particular exchange is may not particularly be very true in crypto. We see a lot of wash trading, but also like we see exchanges doing zero fee trading or rebates to market makers that are actually encouraging a lot of trading volume. Some of them are legit, some of them just outright lies. So I think one of the things that we did a few years ago was launching this thing called the CoinGecko Trust Score, where we kind of made a stance or kind of say that, look, if we cannot trust the trading volume for exchange, then what can we potentially trust? So we started looking at like web traffic, we started looking at the order book depth and cybersecurity score to see whether the exchange has a bug bounty, has done a penetration test, and so on. And together, collectively, we work together with a partner called Akin with CR.live and to try to kind of put together a cybersecurity score. And together, we kind of get a score to kind of check how an exchange, kind of get a more comprehensive overview of exchange that are just relying on trading volume. Obviously, an exchange having a license, being regulated in a certain jurisdiction, is more important because when you have a license, then you can't really rely on this metric. But obviously, a lot of exchanges are located in non-regulated jurisdictions, and that's kind of how things get a bit tricky as well in this space here.
If I could follow up on the importance of security, in a 2021 X thread, you referred to crypto as, quote, dangerous and an adversarial place, end quote, urging steps like hardware wallets to foster vigilance and prompt users toward forward-thinking platforms. 4 years later, do you believe that these steps are still important, or do you feel exchanges have taken sufficient measures?
Yeah, I think security is a very important piece that every individual needs to think hard. Because I think crypto is self-sovereign money. So, and the part about crypto is there is no reversibility in transactions. So once the money is stolen, then there's really no way to reverse this transaction. So security becomes a very important part of crypto. We've seen from the collapse of FTX that the money that you thought you have in an exchange may not necessarily be there, especially during a run. Who knows if the exchange is actually running a fractional reserves of their deposits, for example. So I mean, it's always good to kind of hold custody of your funds, but then holding custody of funds carries its own risk as well. A lot of users just put it on a hot wallet and then they may end up signing a phishing message and then having their funds drained. So I mean, general rule of thumb that I tell most people, always use a hardware wallet. Never put any money on a hot wallet. If you want, you can put a small amount of money to make all your quick trades, but really it should be a hardware wallet because you don't know what's in your computer. You don't know if your computer is compromised by a Trojan or a virus or so on. And it can come from multiple different factors. So having a hot wallet, all these viruses or Trojans or worms will come and search for your private keys or a hot wallet and try to drain them away. And I think when it comes to browser security as well, I tell people to always use a new browser profile for each single use case. I'm extremely wary of installing Chrome extensions, for example, because there's too many cases of Chrome extensions being malicious and draining funds from your wallet, from your hot wallet, for example. I tell users to always use a password manager and have long passwords that are different for each website. And then every single exchange website, every single social media app should have a different password and have a 2FA on top of it, because without these things it's easy, because there's too many websites that have been hacked and all these password lists getting shared around. So if you use the same password for 10 different websites, then it's very easy for a hacker to come and gain access to your account. So these are some of the protective measures to kind of stay safe. But it's important. It's important to take the steps to learn. Security is hard, but it's important to use these to secure your crypto.
What do you believe is the most important piece of information CoinGecko can provide to help users verify trust in exchanges?
I think the trust score is one of them that we use. So kind of like seeing how, and for the trust score is an index that takes into many different things to kind of take a look. I think I like to look at exchanges and see, like, look, has there been a penetration test? Did they look at the cybersecurity practices? Did they do a proof of reserves audit? And we will go with DeFi Llama to kind of check the reserves and kind of so on. So those are some of the things that we encourage users to check.
So CoinGecko Terminal is tracking 5.5 million tokens with 600,000 new ones in January of this year alone, and it's projected to hit 1 billion in 5 years. How does CoinGecko plan to handle projects that will reach 10 figures, and what kind of steps is CoinGecko taking to prepare for such an exponential increase?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, right? So I was at Token 2049 today and I gave a talk on exactly the same topic. So there's a slide where I show we currently at Gecko Terminal, we have 16.7 million tokens out there. In August alone, we added 3 million tokens. This is an upward sloping hockey stick exponential graph. At this current rate of growth, we're projected to hit 100 million tokens by early 2027 and 1 billion tokens by 2030. Essentially, what we're seeing is anything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. We're seeing a tokenization of everything from real-world assets to meme coins to the tokenization of attention economy. Creators are all creating all these tokens. You know, what we're seeing is that 10 years ago, it wasn't very easy to create a coin. Like we see Dogecoin, Litecoin, and so on. They're all proof-of-work coins. You need to set up your coin. You need to find miners to validate the chain and secure the network, so that you don't get 51% attack. You got to find an exchange to list your token. But today, if you want to launch a coin, I want to launch a Bobby coin, for example, or you want to launch a Den coin, or so on, like all you need to do is just go to token launchpad, pump.fun, time.fun, and many others out there. Click a few buttons, and boom, you have your token up and running within a couple of minutes. And then you just need to add liquidity on a decentralized exchange, and then you have trading taking place. There's no one that you need to ask permission. And essentially, this market is growing exponentially. We are going to see a billion. Anything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. We start seeing, I think we're still so early. We see all kind of meme coins, all kind of real-world assets. I think we're just barely scratching the surface to where crypto will be in the next 10 years.
So drawing from your experiences at CoinGecko, is there an anecdote about an exchange's credibility or lack thereof that has particularly stuck with you over the years?
Yeah, sure. I think I like to turn this question around a little bit. Like you know, I first heard about Bitcoin in 2013, and then people usually tell me, look, oh, you're so lucky to, discover Bitcoin 11 years ago. Like, how I wish I knew about Bitcoin back then. I would have bought it and now I'd be rich. But reality is not really that simple. Like, to hold true for 11 years through all the ups and downs is actually a very difficult thing to do. Like, even if you bought Bitcoin at $10, $100, whatever, $1,000 for example, most people would have sold when it hits 10x, 2x. Most people would have sold 2x. Some would hold 10x. But to hold 100x and longer, that requires conviction. So I tell everybody that, look, you need to know your why when you buy a coin. And if you don't have a strong conviction, strong reason, then it's very hard. For me, the reason why I hold Bitcoin boils down to two things. One is, it's a hard asset. Bitcoin has 21 million coins. There's a limited supply. There's no more Bitcoin that will be created. And in a world where we are seeing the fiat currency getting debased, getting printed non-stop year in, year out, money's got to go to somewhere hard. Traditionally, during our parents, our grandparents, and our forefathers' time, money used to go towards gold. Bitcoin is this digital version of the traditional gold. And we are seeing that now. We're seeing gold increasing very fast in the last couple of years. We see Bitcoin going the same thing as well. The second main reason why for me is self-sovereign money. The money that you have in a bank is really not your money. And we have seen with Silicon Valley Bank maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago that it was at one point nearly on the brink of collapsing. It requires the government to come in and step in to say that, look, the money in the bank is safe, we're going to guarantee all the deposits, even above $100,000, for example. So the money that you have in the bank is not really your money, but the money that you have, the Bitcoin that you have in your own custody, your own wallet, for example, is your money. So if based on that, and it's really hard to have an asset that has these qualities. Theoretically, you can say gold has this asset. If you have the gold, like you have a gold chain that you have at home, it's really your money, but it's not very easy to transport gold across borders as well, whereas Bitcoin is very easy to transport across borders and move around. So for many people in developed countries probably won't understand this, but for many people in developing countries where the fiat currency is getting deflated away, debased, for example, this becomes a very important property for many people and that's one of the reasons why, for me, the reasons why it allowed me to kind of hold on all these years. So it can be Bitcoin, it can be Ethereum, it can be Solana, it can be any other coins for everyone, but like knowing the reason, knowing the conviction, and knowing a time horizon, whether it's like 1 month or 1 day or 1 year or 10 years in holding is important to kind of, when it comes to some of these trading decisions.
Bobby, if we can touch on rebuilding trust amid crypto scams and misconduct, in your view, what role should trustworthy data platforms like CoinGecko play in rebuilding user confidence?
Yeah, I think if you look at the number of tokens being created, like 16.7 million tokens right now, like I would say like a large majority of them are just not worth the time and effort to look at. Maybe 95% of them are just not worth looking at. There's no liquidity. Maybe a large percentage of them are outright just scams, honeypots. Like you can buy the tokens, but you cannot sell them. Like there's all these pumps and dumps, for example. So like one of the things that we do at Gecko Terminal is to help traders stay safe. So we kind of integrated all the different like scam trackers onto Gecko Terminal. So you have all these tick boxes. Is this a honeypot? Yes, no. Is there what's the tax for buys and sells? So some of them have like, you see a low 0% tax, or you see like 10% buy and 50% sell tax, for example, then you get robbed by the tax, for example. And there's like 10,000 other ways, dozens of other ways how you get robbed, for example, or scam from all these things. So we integrate various different providers on the various different chains so that when a trader goes on Gecko Terminal, you have your ability to kind of easily see whether this token is safe or it's not safe, or are there any risk factor, are they high risk or moderate risk to any of this token, and then you can make a decision from then on. Because at the end of the day, like in a permissionless decentralized system like crypto, like anybody can create all these tokens, but when it's permissionless, like there's bound to be all these scams as well, and you just got to be careful to do your own research and make sure you don't get robbed, for example. And that's kind of one of the things that we want to do to help provide the tools to traders to help them do their research easily.
So on the topic of AI, there are a lot of AI-powered programs that are adapting into exchanges, from automated trading bots to market prediction and sentiment analysis. However, over-reliance on AI can lead to complacency, where traders perhaps ignore their own judgment or fail to account for nuances that AI might miss. Should exchanges slow down on AI initiatives?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you should not trust your decision 100% on AI. Like, I mean, you got to know why you're doing it. The AI can help you, but you got to know the why. And I think, like, should people use AI less? I don't think so. I mean, AI is kind of a trend that is coming, whether we like it or not. The way I look at AI is that it's like the internet trend of 20 years ago. Before this, everything's like, there's a non-tech and there's a tech business. But really, what is a tech business? Every company has to use tech, have to use internet. If you're not using tech or internet, like, I don't even know what business you're in these days, because every business is using some sort of technology these days, and internet. So like, internet has permeated every single industry, has touched every single industry. And I think AI is doing the same as well. Every single job will, maybe not every single job, but a large majority of jobs will be disrupted by AI, whether directly or indirectly. It's a matter of how much. The way we work will be different. The way we learn will be different in a few years' time. And we just got to embrace it. So to say like, to not use AI and to be anti-AI is not really a thing to do as well. The question is how fast. I think there's an arbitrage opportunity, or maybe the opportunity for companies or individuals to take advantage of AI. Those who are more proficient at AI will be more productive against those who don't know how to use AI. So I think increasingly we are seeing a world where individuals and companies who can adopt and use AI being more productive and will be rewarded significantly more than those who can't use AI or don't know how to use AI. So essentially what we're seeing is a world where people are not competing against AI, but it's really people who know how to use AI competing better against people who know how to use AI less. That's kind of like the next phase, and we are going. So increasingly, like companies need to adopt AI, must use AI, whether in all kinds of jobs, whether they are a developer or a marketeer or a sales, whatever, all roles. I mean, at CoinGecko is the same as well. We encourage our team members to learn AI, to adopt AI, to use AI. How do we embed AI into our operations? So like our engineering teams kind of looking at AI to kind of be more productive and ship code faster, for example. Our operations team is embedding AI to kind of enable what used to be a very manual listing review process to kind of enable us to do the review at a quicker pace, for example. AI, we're seeing increasingly more AI agents coming up. We see more machine-to-machine payments. AI agents want to consume data, and AI agents don't consume data in the traditional REST API format. So the CoinGecko API, we've built a MCP server, model context protocol server that enables AI agents to easily get the data from CoinGecko and Gecko Terminal easily. So like AI agents then can use the data that we have, the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other 16 million tokens that we track at CoinGecko and Gecko Terminal to then make decisions that they want to do for whatever applications that they have. So essentially, our job is to enable the decentralized future, to democratize access to data, whether to individuals via the website, to developers via the API, MCP, and so on. So AI is here to stay. I think the best thing that everybody can do is to kind of like learn, embrace, and use AI.
Bobby, we've covered a few topics today. We just wonder if there's any last things that you would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think if you look at the total crypto market cap right now, it's roughly about $4 trillion today. $4 trillion might sound like a very large number, but really it's just the market cap of NVIDIA, just one NVIDIA. So the entire crypto industry is just the size of one stock. So what this means is that the industry is still really early because we're not even the size of Max 7, and then we're not even the size of S&P 500 yet. So like to get from 4 trillion to the size of Max 7, like Google and so on, like that $20 trillion, that 5x more, it's really not that hard to imagine how as we see stable coins growing, we see more large companies adopting crypto, launching their own chains, bringing users on chain. Crypto is going to get abstracted, there's going to be more use cases, there's going to be more real world assets coming on board. It's really not that hard to imagine the market cap of crypto 5x to the Max 7 and 12.5x towards the size of S&P 500 by the end of this decade. So I think what I'm trying to say is that we're early, but obviously to get from where we are to where the size of S&P is not going to be a smooth journey. There's going to be many booms and busts. So obviously, stay safe, don't leverage trade, don't get liquidated, for example. But if you have a long-term time horizon, I think we are very early. We're barely scratching the surface, and the next decade is really going to be very interesting. Regulations have eased up, and I think we're going to see so many more use cases and so many interesting times for crypto. So I think I would say we are still very early, and I'm very bullish on crypto.
Thank you so much, Bobby, for being here.
Thank you very much for a good talk. Yeah.